Hi friends, welcome to Geek Syntax Error. Today we'll discuss more advanced concepts of CRUD operations. So if you have not watched my previous video, I'll put a link in the description. Please do watch that video prior to this so that you'll get a continuity over CRUD operation series. So in this video, we'll discuss more advanced concepts of CRUD operations. How to write a native query using @query annotations and how to use DO classes to create a complex queries. Okay, so first let's get to the database. So as you know, like this is the database we have created in our last video. So we have a simple database called test, under which we have a table called user. So I added few records to it. For example, I need to fetch a result in such a way that the salary of the employees, salary of the user should be greater than of 15,000 or should be greater than of 18,000. So then I have to write a query, SQL query, right? So that like whatever query we have written, that is what we called as a native query, and this query we need to execute in CRUD repository. Okay, usually CRUD repository we use for ready-made methods. So methods some are which are already available, so we can make use for simple CRUD operations. But sometimes our business logic needs us to write a SQL query like what I have explained. So in our case, we need to fetch a result based on the salary which should be greater than of 18,000. So in that case, we need to write a query. So that query we have to execute that native query using CRUD repository. So how can we able to use that is we have an @query annotation for that. If you use @query annotation, we can able to execute a native query using CRUD repository. We'll see that. First, we'll write a query for that. Select star from user where salary should be greater than 18,000. You can see only two users who's having a salary which is greater than of 18,000. If I put a salary of greater than of 15,000, we'll get a 3 users whose salary is greater than of 15,000. So this is the native query. Let's see how we can able to add this query in CRUD repository. I just add the previous project zip file and the database zip file in the description of this video. Just download it, guys. And I have imported the project which we created this project in the last video, in the first part of our CRUD operation. So what I'll do is we need to go to a repository class. This is the user repository which we created. Just we need to create a method definition in a user repository interface where it will return us the list of users. Get user by salary. Okay. So for that we need to provide the salary detail. So at which we need to get the user, like we need to get the user whose salary should be greater than of what the salary we specified. So for that purpose we need to pass as a param salary. It should be string type, or sorry, float type. So this is the method which we write, return. So we have a annotation in CRUD repository that is known as a @query annotation. If you use that, we can able to write a native query in that. So it will accept 2 parameters, this @query annotation. One is the value nothing but the SQL query which we need to enter. So this is the SQL query. So where I don't want to hard code any value here, so I just take the I just create a variable. So at runtime, whenever whatever the salary we pass, the salary will be fed to the SQL query, and this SQL native query will be executed by the CRUD repository. After that, we need to pass a flag saying that it's a native query. Okay guys, we just created a method in user repository which extends to CRUD repository interface. So after that, in the service class, just add a method here. This method is I just add a comment over here at query annotation. Just create a method which will give us the list of user, get user by salary. We need to pass the salary, right? So salary details. So user repository implementation class, we have to implement that. Just call the repo class which we just call the repository method which we have defined just now. Get salary by and the salary details, pass the salary details. So at runtime, automatically the salary details will be added to the SQL query and it will be executed based on that. So in the controller, I just create a one method here. All user by salary. Okay guys, so this will accept a path variable of salary. Which is of type float. I'm just calling the method which we have created, get user by salary. Just pass the float value there. Just run the application, we'll see that. Okay, just copy the URL slash salary. Like what we need is like we need a list of all users whose salary will be greater than of 18,000. So these are the users whose salary is greater than of 18,000. So we can change the input dynamically. For example, we need a users whose salary is greater than of 15,000. We can take like this. Like as you can see guys, in CRUD repository, we can use @query annotation to run a native query. Native query means like whatever the SQL query we return. Like in MySQL Workbench, what is the basic format of SQL query? It's not a JPA formatted or nothing like that. Just a basic SQL query is nothing but called as a native query. You can able to execute that using @query annotation in CRUD repository. So this is the one of the way. And if you want to execute a more complex query, so in that case we can make use of a DO classes. So we'll see now how to use the DO class to execute more complex queries. So for that we need to alter this database, and we need to make this database little more complex. Okay, so we'll create one more table here. I just create one more table called as department. So it should consist of only a department ID, which is a primary key, not null and auto increment, and department name. It's a varchar. So I have created a table called department. I just add few records to it. Technical, functional, business. Okay, so the the database design is like the department, like every user will belongs to at least one department, and the department may consist of many users. So this department id I'm passing as a foreign key to this user table. Okay, which is of type int, and just apply here, and we go to the foreign key section. As you can see guys, there is a foreign key section. Go to there, just give a foreign key name as a department id, and reference table will be the department table. Here actually we are mapping this column department id to the department id of a department table. So that means the primary key of a department table will be the foreign key in a user table. Okay, so the user is linked to department table through this foreign key department id. So we'll write a complex query here. So actually my business logic is I need to fetch a result in such a way that I need to get only the user name and the department name. Okay, but in the user table we have a, let me refresh the user table. Okay, in the user table we don't have any department IDs. I'll just give the random department ID to it. Okay, so these are all the users which are related to the particular department. So the business logic is I need to fetch a users, like I need to get the result set in such a way that the username and department name should be the result set. So in this case I need to make use of a join, because I need to get the result from the two tables. So I need to join these two tables to get the result. So I need to make use of a SQL joins. Okay, so this is a little bit of complex queries. So like this type of queries, we can't go for a CRUD repository. So we need to go for a DO implementation classes. So I'll show you how to do that. First we'll write a query for this. Select name, that is nothing but the username, comma, and department name. This is in a snake case, so I'll take it as a alias and make it as a camel case format. Department name from first user table, I'm just taking from user table, join, I'm joining the department table on basis of this department ID. This is what the bridge between these two tables, right? So user dot department ID, that should be equal to department dot department ID. Sorry, I just made a mistake here. Okay, department name, as you can see guys, so I get the name and the particular department name. Okay, so this is the query. Anyway, the query is ready, but we need to execute this query using a DO class. So how can we do that? We'll see. Come. So first we need to alter the user entity class, because now the user entity class will have an extra column as a department ID. Let me show that. As you can see, we have a department ID, an extra column will be there. So first we'll alter the user entity class. We'll add private int department ID. Okay, so just we'll create a parameterized constraint, everything. I'll just recreate again. Just create a parameterized constructor, and we are going to creating a getassign setters for the new field and toString of it. Okay, So we added the new column which we created in user table. Now now actually this is an entity. There is another package we need to create, that is a response, because this is a result set what we are getting here. After we running this SQL query, we'll get the result like this. So this is not a table, actually this is a result set, but we need to represent this through Pojo, through a Java object, right? So we need a response entity for that. So let's create a response entity for this result set. So for that I'll create a package called as a response, and I'll create a class as a user department response. Okay, we don't have to specify any annotation for this, because these are all not a this is not an entity class. Entity class means it should has to bound to some table, but this is whatever result set we are getting, this is not bound to any table. Like there is the result is coming from the combination of two tables, so this is only the response. So we don't have to specify anything like at entity or at table name. Just this is just a normal Pojo we have to create. Private string name, private string, and department name. Okay, just create one empty we have to create one constructor, empty constructor, and we'll create a constructor from the fields. We'll create a getters and setters. So guys, I'm clicking actually Alt Shift and S, so it will open this source window where you can select the options. So this Eclipse will automatically generate a code for us. After that, Control A, Control Shift F, so it will format our code in a nice and readable format. So it will format our code. You have to press Control Shift F. Okay, so we created a response entity. I just remove this committed code. Okay, so we created a response entity for user and department. So the response, like the Pojo is ready. The only thing we have to do is like we'll create a Do classes and we'll execute that complex query there. After that, we'll map that result set to this Pojo, so that it should be in a readable format. So in a JSON format it will be at the end point. So we'll see that how to do that. So for that we have to create a Do class. So before going to a Do, let me create one package as Do. .do. So after that we have to create one support package, because as you guys know that we have a data source object. So data source object is nothing but like whatever the user information we given, the username, whatever the credential we given, like username, password, and the database URL information. For that the JDBC will make one connection that is known as a data source object. Like make use of the data source object, the JDBC template will be created. So based upon that we can able to do the operations. So like more about these things, we have a separate video on our channel. Please do watch that before to this, guys. So we are going to using another class, a top level class such as named parameter JDBC Do support class. So this is the class which internally make use of this data source object, and it will create a JDBC template for us. So all this low level of operation will be taken care by this class. Okay, so we'll make use of the named parameter JDBC Do support class. So for that I'll create one package under Do known as a support package. Okay guys, so here I'll create a class called as name parameter JDBC Do support class. So it should extend name parameter JDBC Do support. I just have to import that. So okay, so now I need to auto void a data source object to it. So whenever the bean is creating, whenever the Spring is scanning this name parameter JDBC do support class, it will automatically look for all the dependencies. So automatically I'm just passing the data source object to my parent object. So here the parent class will be named parameter JDBC do support class. So for the class I'm just passing the data source object. I need to pass the data source object to there. So rest everything this JDBC do support class will take care. So just will pass the data source to it. Public void set data source, because set data source method is already returned in the parent class, so I don't want to override that. So I just give a different name as a source3. I'm just passing a data source object to it. Okay, I just have to import that. Okay, it should be javax.sql package. Okay, so now I need to set data source. I need to pass this data source object to a parent. Okay guys, and this should be auto void. So now let's create a do implementation class. So before that we have to create a interface, right? So in the do package, create an interface. Just give a give it as a user do. So in this do class, do interface, just create a list of, we are getting the list of user department response. Get user department. So I just created a method definition here. Let's add a do implementation class and we'll give the body to it. So under do.ampl, in implementation, let's create a user do implementation class. So it should extend the user do class. Okay, so now I've created a class called user do implementation class. We need to import that name parameter JDBC do support class, which we have created earlier. Just extend that class named parameter JDBC do support class. Okay, so once we extend that, all the properties will be inheriting in our do implementation class. So I'll just add up here list of user department response user details. We'll put a try and catch. Yeah, let's create a query. The query will be the query which we return using joins. This is the query. Just copy it there. We need to copy there. So the query defines like name and department name, aliasing to department name in a camel case from user. We are joining a department table on basis of foreign key, that is like in the user.department id, which should be equal to department.department id. Means the foreign key in a user table should equal to the primary key of a department table. So based on that, we are fetching both the information present in user table and information present in department table. Okay, this was the query. Okay, So just execute that using, so users, sorry, it should be users, right? So users. So here, like once we extend this name parameter JDBC do support class, we have a method inside the JDBC do support class, that is get name parameter meter JDBC do support, sorry, JDBC template, yeah. So we have a method inside the name parameter JDBC do support class, that is get name parameter JDBC template. So after that, when we click on that, like get JDBC operation, after that dot query, we need to pass the SQL query here, and the second parameter we need to pass a result set extractor. So as you guys know, like in a traditional way, whatever the result set we get, we are manually setting it, means we are manually mapping that result set details into the Pojo, right? So using a row mapper or a mapper. So right now we like that row mapper, like how to map and everything, we'll have a separate video for that. So right now we'll make use of a bean property row mapper. So what bean property row mapper will do is, it will automatically map the result set to the our entity, our response entity. So it will automatically create a Pojo and give it as, so we don't have to write a separate logic for mapping, okay? But we have to pass the information to it, like type of information, like type of the file, type of the class we need to pass, which type. So according to the type, the result set will be converted back to the, it will automatically, result set will be automatically mapped to Pojo. But one condition is there, that the column name, so whatever the result set column name, so as you can see, the name and department name, these are the result set column name, this should be same of whatever the field we defined in our response Pojo. Okay guys, I'll make use of a bean property row mapper, which is of type user department response, and I need to pass a parameter here, the class file I need to pass. Import this. Okay. So now we have added a do implementation class, and we have returned a method there to get the user and department details. So we make use of a named parameter JDBC do support class. So inside that we have a method called get named parameter JDBC template. So by invoking that method, we'll get a JDBC operation. After that, we can make use of that query method. So it will accept the two parameters. One is the query, means our native query, our complex joins query. Another one is a mapper, the result set extractor method. So right now we are using a bean property row mapper, so it will automatically map our result set into our response Pojo. So the traditional way of mapping, we have a separate video for that. Please do check in our YouTube channel, we will get that. So after that, we returned a do and do implementation classes. Let's create a method in service and service implementation. Okay, in the service, I'll just give a method here. This method is calling from do classes. We have a method user department response get user department. So the user implementation class, we have to implement the unimplemented methods. So before that, we need to auto-write the do class here. private user do. Okay, we are auto wiring the do class here in the service class. We just have to add the auto wire. So the whenever the Spring is creating the object for the service implementation class, what it will do is it will do all the dependency injection. So the user do is a dependency for the service implementation class, so it will import it. Okay, in the user do we have that method which we want to call now. Just call the method there, dot get user departments. Okay guys, so now in the user controller we'll create a method to get the details. I just copy the existing one and modify it. Okay, so get all user department so this will be user department response, right? Okay guys, in user service I just call the respective method, that is dot get user department. So we'll see it by running the application. Okay, we did some mistake here. Actually we forget to add the repository annotation to it, I think. So let's go back to the do implementation class. So this is the user do implementation. We have to specify that it is a repository class, like how we are specifying for CRUD repository. So that is the reason Spring is failed to create a bean for it. See, as you can see, the application is started on port 8080. Let's go back to the, first we'll copy the URL of it, go back to the browser. You can use Postman. For get operation I'm just pointing in a browser. See, as you can see, we get the name and department name. If you want to run any native query under the same table, you can make use of a CRUD repository. Like you can create a method definition in CRUD repository by putting a @query annotation and passing your native query to it. So this is a one way you can able to achieve that. And if you are having a complex query, for example, you are taking a records from different tables using joins like inner join, left join, right join, and all. So you can make use of a do classes for that. So for the do class, you need to create one support class. So for the support class, you need to pass a data source object to it. So after that, you can extend that support class in your do implementation classes, and you can easily execute the complex queries. Okay, so this is a way we can able to handle these native and complex queries by using both repository interfaces and writing our own do implementation classes. So the more details about mapper and these SQL things and everything will be like lined up in our YouTube channel. Each and every video we will explain deeply on the basic concepts of all these things. So okay guys, if you really like this video, please subscribe to our channel and share this video to your friends. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you. Bye bye.